All right.
Welcome to a sit-in with
With
the
the
Lampshades
Now we're live.
podcast.
All right.
All right, Ringo.
Let's see. Thank you everybody for being here. Really look forward to this podcast, this live podcast. We happy for each and every one of you. As always, make sure to put any comments, ask any questions, and we'll be going back and forth to the questions or whatever or not. But let your voice be heard as you get an opportunity through this live apparatus to be able to move the conversation and get some of the answers that that you're looking for answered and dealt with. Also, today we're going to be talking about just in general, like our general
What's going on in the world, man?
Yeah. We'll talk about North Korea. We'll be talking about Mark of the Beast, and of course the coming solar eclipse this month in just a few days. So there's a whole lot of stuff to go over, but of course, always feel free to jump right in with a question. And y'all we'll see if we can get to
Some answers.
get to everyone and get some answers for you guys. All right, so just starting with the news, North Korea, whatnot. There's a whole lot of buzz going on the internet, online, on the mainstream media, sports. Whole lot of that. There may be a little bit of backfeed there. I had look at different sources just to make sure that everything's going fine with the video feed. If there's any issues, of course, put it in the comment section. We'll take a look at it. Anything that may or may not come into the video while we're doing this. But nonetheless, though, when it comes to North Korea, we have missile tests going on. We have ratcheted up rhetoric, huge ratcheted up rhetoric now, dealing with Kim Jong-un and Rex Tillerson and some politicians who are already talking about how they want to invade, bomb, regime change, all the stuff that they said they wasn't interested in doing originally.
And that's the case. So again, so we're we got live now. We got one viewer so far, but it's not so much how much people are watching as if we're going live, because we know that the rest of Israel is going to key in when it's uploaded onto Sakuma 08 or our alternative site Lucifer Lambu, or our alternative site Sakuma Lambu on YouTube.com. So we know there's going to be a lot of viewership in regards to those different things. But then again, the opportunity to gouge, your thoughts and your questions in regards to what's going on in the world.
Yeah, because don't get it twisted. I mean, Lampshades Ministries do productions, right? That's what we do. Back booths, whether it be back booths or in the foreground, out there on the street corners, which we do that consistently.
Yeah.
We're gonna still do what the Spirit of the Most High puts in our hearts and our in our abilities to do. But this sit down, this
live sit down,
this live podcast is an opportunity for
connection.
For you, O Israel, to be a part of the ministry, to let your voice be heard, to step out in the forefront, and bring on some interesting questions and move the conversation. To actually get your blood on the ice,
so to speak.
So,
but also realize this too. I mean, think of the old days of slavery. During the slavery when they were Harriet Tubman and so forth was
down by the riverside,
was trying to get slaves, from the south to the north. They needed communication. They used songs and so forth as a means of communication. How does that apply to today? Well, we're about to begin the great 7-year tribulation, which, according to scriptures, we're going to be a part of for at least 33 days. right?
Well, it's already getting riled up and ready to go again with wars, rumors of wars, threats of wars.
But the point is that this is a great opportunity to communicate with Israel during the Great Tribulation and also during Jacob's trouble, which we are currently in. I mean, it's not like if something's going on with you, you can just pick up a cell phone and call your nearest priest of the Most High. So this gives you an opportunity to keep in contact with the men of God, so that when y'all willing, if things get bad, which they're already bad, but if they get even worse coming up to the solar eclipse, Israel will have a means of communication for at least as long as the technology lasts.
Well, still and all though, don't get it twisted. I mean, if nukes are on their way, I can't say that you'll be able to jump online to a live broadcast with Lucy Lambo and Priest Most High Lucy Lambo and Priest Most High Lucy Lambo. I mean, who knows? I mean, the thought is that pray be we have better things to do, like out there doing the work, being keen to what the Most High wants of us, for us to do. There's a whole lot that's coming down the pipe. So I guess the point that I'm making is now is the time to get those lines of communication open. As
started. Now,
something was saying.
Now, of course, what a lot of people are procrastinators. They see that this is a good opportunity in order for Israel to come together and communicate with each other, even though it's over a vast location, vast ground. I mean, we can be talking to people who are in New York, or people who are in Washington, or people who are in another country somewhere.
But yeah, our viewership, our viewership goes, we're national around, whatever, whatnot.
This is a worldwide forum, and it only makes sense that as Israel, we would take advantage of the ability to communicate with each other from further distances. And because again, the Great Tribulation is right at our doorstep. It would only make sense that we would come together to the best of our ability and communicate before the Great Tribulation jumps off.
Well, yeah. Again, North Korea is already talking about war. They have been proven now, at least to standards of the international community, America, and they've been trying to trump this and egg this on for quite some time anyway. But it's been proven now, supposedly, if you believe what they say, that North Korea can hit any state, in America. That they have now proven their ballistic missile capability, capacity. That is no longer far off in terms of the years that they can get ready for this. They're actually showing it's being said and reported that they're ready right now. So it moves up the times table for America, for Trump. He's been saying all this time that wouldn't happen, and now he's leaking himself. He's leaking himself through Rex Tillerson and through that senator or whatever. His plans for war with North Korea, and it's a very dangerous game they're playing, because maybe they're the first one to make the move. Maybe the other side makes the move, but once it starts, it won't last very long. It's gonna be they're throwing everything.
And this is what Israel has to realize, man. Yeah, we put our faith in the Most High. Yeah, we don't have the fear of the world as if they have no hope, because the Most High ain't their God.
Yeah.
All right.
But Most High ain't saying don't be a dead. He ain't saying be a dead corpse either. He says watch. He says pay attention. He says listen.
But we also got to put our faith in the Most High and take these seriously. I mean, these aren't a joke either. You know what I'm saying? We're days away from the solar eclipse. We're seeing in the news, and we're seeing around the world, the tensions getting to their boiling point. I mean, we got storms, flash floods, droughts, two sides of the same country, happening all around the world. I mean, China just had a 7.0 earthquake and smack dead in the center of their country, right? So it's not like it was off the in the sea somewhere, right? It was right dead smack under land, dead in the middle of their country. 7.0. Talk about the loss of life. Talk about the damages and destruction. I mean, the scriptures teach us that when we start seeing these things come into pass, that our redemption draws nigh. We know that 2/3 of our nation is going to be punished by the Most High, because they ain't going to come back to this truth, right? And for the other ones who do come back to this truth, You know, they got to come back to law, statutes, and commandments, put their faith in the Most High. You know, and again, you know, having the ability to come on live here is a way in which we can answer questions, is a way in which we can come together as Israelite community. See, there's a lot of people who will realize they're Israelites, but, you know, don't think that they're ready to come together as a nation, right? Now, we know the Most High is going to bring the king, he's going to bring the nation lickety split, right? But he would tell us to love their brother, you know, if we wasn't supposed to come back together and loving each other, you know, loving our nation, loving our brother, and so forth.
You know, a lot of this is practice too. You know, practice for the spiritual manifestation to come. Right? I mean, right now we're talking to few viewers, whatever or not, but you know, there's gonna come a time where Israel's talking amongst each other, and there's millions, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. You know,
struggling to try to get a word in with the men of God.
Yeah, and a footing and you know, and positioning and all that other kind of stuff. You know, the kingdom is at hand. It's nigh, O Israel. I mean, you guys remember what happened with Trump and when he was going into the White House or whatever, that and all those positions needed to be filled. Matter of fact, I do believe they had in the last session of Congress, they like confirmed finally like 71 different Trump appointees or whatever, and it was like, this is the most we've done since him coming into office. But it just goes to show you, the birth of a nation isn't gonna, if that's what they're doing right now in terms of confirmations and getting people in the slots for the government or whatever, and he's still in just got in office, but he's been there for almost a year now, and they're still filling up spots now with him. Can you just imagine how it's going to be when it comes to the resurrected, redeemed Israel? I mean, everything's going to be getting filled. I mean, everything. There's so many things that logically, realistically, spiritually is going to have to be set in place in order for Israel to be a functioning nation.
Yeah.
And it's going to be built up in the side of our enemies.
By the Most High.
By the Most High. So if Trump is still filling positions after a year, right? And Most High says he's going to build up Israel in front of our enemies, right? And then we're exiting, whatever. All those positions are going to have to get filled, and that's why, you know, it's a good idea to rehearse these things.
Yeah, and to get to know one
another.
Because you don't know the person that you're talking to, the priest of the Most High that you're interfacing with, could be a priest of the Most High in the kingdom. You know, could be one of the 144,000. You have no idea who you're talking to, so it's a good opportunity for everyone to kind of come together and get to know each other and come back to the Most High in spirit and in truth, because, you know, those connections could be major things as the kingdom of God begins to take shape.
But, you know, as I was saying again, just reiterating, or it's an ownership thing. You know, it's putting your blood on the ice. You're not so to speak. You're not just looking to see, you know, what positions are going to be filled. You're actually practicing, you know, a leadership role in Israel. You're preparing yourself. It's like if you were going to a job interview or any of that nature, or you were going to go to a job interview, you wouldn't wait till you're sitting in front of the person in order to like go over some of the things that you've done in your life, some of the aspirations that you have, in order to know and practice what it is that you're going to say and what it is you're going to do and how you're going to you know, fill this slot or fill that slot. These are things you're going to be rehearsing and practicing beforehand. Well, we know the Most High is coming. Why wouldn't you think to yourself, you know, let me go ahead and start making changes in my life in terms of taking more responsibility, just even if it's on a little thing, to get more prepared for those bigger things. Like Most High says, is written that basically what you're doing, if you do well in the little things that He gives you, right? Then when the major things come in, obviously He's gonna give you over to those things too.
And it's also about fellowship too. You got to realize that as well. You know, Lampshades Ministry makes itself available so that the children of the Most High can fellowship not just with us, praise be to Yah, but also among each other. You know, so that we all may fellowship in righteousness. Because think about it, in the course of your life before you came into this truth, you probably had, 95% of your friends or the people you dealt with, the people you interacted with, were wicked as hell, right? And what connection does the light have with the darkness? This is the opportunity in this truth to actually fellowship with those who are fellow believers in the Most High through Yahshua HaMashiach, with the blood lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. How much more important it is to fellowship with the children of God and to turn away from the madness, the wickedness, the evil of Babylon. See, another reason why people may not be jumping on the opportunity to do this podcast is because they want to watch their television, they want to watch their internet cable connection, and they may not see the value in dealing with and talking with the children of God. They're going to see that value, of course, when the Great Tribulation happens. They're going to see that value then, but as of right now, they may not see that value. Well, what's the point of talking to the men of God, asking them questions about the Most High when they personally may not be going through much tribulation? But again, like Brother Lucifer was saying, this is the test run, this is the practice run, right? If you're looking and seeking for the Most High, then you're going to want to fellowship with those who are servants of the Most High. If you're seeking and loving this world, then you don't have enough time to be sitting down here giving questions, asking questions about what's going on, and just fellowshipping with the Most High, because through His servants, like Yahshua said, when two or more coming together in His name, surely He's in the midst.
And there's several advantages of coming together like we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
One of the interesting advantages is this isn't by camp, right?
Yeah.
Or this is Israel, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter whether you're IUIC, or it doesn't matter whether you're GMS. It doesn't matter whether you're
various different names. We normally don't really go over the names of these other people.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what camp
where you come from.
Mm-hmm. It's still an opportunity to be able to ask questions. It's still an opportunity to talk about things going on in terms of us moving forward in this walk, especially getting towards the tribulation and the many things that are over the horizon. This is a really good opportunity, really good chance to go over some.
And if you have any questions, again, there's a part where you can type in and you can say stuff or whatever, and we check it.
There's chat, ask questions.
Yeah, during our podcast. We don't just talk. We every now and then we look back to see if there's any questions. So, and we encourage questions.
Yeah, most definitely. That's the difference between this or just watching one of the series, the multiple different series that we already have. And that is that you take ownership. All right, viewers, subscribers, whoever's out there in TV land.
Yeah.
You guys take ownership of this. Ask questions, whatever, and we'll cipher through it.
Whether there's questions about the law, statutes, and commandments, whether there's questions about what's going on in America, whether there's questions about what's going to happen during the solar eclipse or the sign in the heavens in September 23rd of this year, whether it's questions about family members in your own personal life,
the things that are going on with you, in your walk. Maybe it'll be something that you want to talk about.
Yeah, and that's what this is for. That's what the forum is for. All right, we're here so that we can be attentive to the needs of Israel. We're going to make ourselves available. Now, it's been suggested that we open this live podcast at 8 o'clock each day. If y'all willing,
because we don't really know
until at least to the Great Tribulation, and so forth and so on. Because we have the Most High puts in our spirit to make ourselves available to His children. That's the reason why He put us in this position. That's the reason why He lifted us up to do this work. Okay, so that He can utilize us to do well for Israel, to lead Israel scripturally in this time of need.
Yeah. Now we got a few viewers. Hey, come on, guys, our ladies, gentlemen. Let's see what you guys got. We got some questions. We got something coming up. Yeah, we're let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go ahead and check. I just leave it right there so we go through. It'll should come up over there, but no, I mean flip over, but don't adjust the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we'll just keep checking back just to make sure, see if there's some life out there. If you if we're talking to some real life people or some corpses. uh, but again, troublesome times are coming, even in addition to the Jacob's troubles that we already find ourselves in, right? But we take it in good cheer. We take it with faith and with boldness.
Mm-hmm. Bold as lions.
Bold as lions. But don't let it get it twisted. It's not. It's not. It's still focused in the realization of the possibility, right? I mean, nobody's blinding their eyes and make pretending nobody's in a delusion. And we can be cheerful and looking forward for the kingdom without not totally ignoring the trials and tribulations and the work that needs to be done to usher in all the things that the Most High is talking about. And these are things that you have to do from within, working on the inside. That's the reason why we keep talking about again and again about how important it is to take ownership and how important it is to be willing to step out and really exercise these traits that are going to be so important with the kingdom being put back in our hands. Praise be Yah.
Yeah, praise be Yah. Again, we didn't have this when we was growing up. Praise be Yah. Our parents didn't let us know. Didn't know who we were. That we were, the Israelite Discussion. We grew up like many other people grew up, thinking that they were black, thinking they were colored. And then one of the things about coming into this truth is
hello, this new viewers coming in.
One thing, is a little time lapse, so you see it, doesn't mean you see it. But one thing about coming into this truth is that all of a sudden the scriptures become alive. You can see your history. You can see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the scriptures, and you know where you fit in the circle of life, so to speak. But one of the things that you don't get is fellowship with other Israelites right off the bat. Usually you're a loner among your family, among your city, among your town, and the fellowshipping aspect is one of the later things that comes in time. And that's one thing Lampshades Ministry wanted to make sure that we had a part of our ministry. The teachings, obviously, the going over the different various things going on in life, but we also want to open ourselves up to allow fellowship opportunities with the children of Israel. So even though you just may have come into this truth, knowing who you are and so forth, we want to make sure that that there are other Israelites out there that you can fellowship with and go over the scriptures with and talk with, just as one brother to another brother. And that's what the live aspect of this is really all about. It's also a good way for you to know that, though we're strong teachers in this truth, because the Most High has made us that way, though we are, we don't tickle the ear, but we are real life people.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but as for me, the jury's still out. I mean, I think live is a lot of fun. I mean, we did live the other day, whatever or not. I think it's a lot of fun. It's very interesting to see what people or to hear what people have on their minds. It's different than the training courses that we're doing with the children of Israel, the Bible study series, as well as the Word of Yah series. It's a different format, total different format. I mean, even on the sit down with the lampshades, which is the solo right now. Previous, it was more again just taping and then putting it online. Now we actually have the opportunity to talk with the people live, and I'm really looking forward to some of those comments or some of those questions.
Again, always feel free to ask a question about
and we're
anything.
We're checking.
And to comment about anything, because we're looking at the comments, and we're definitely checking to see what people are saying, and and that way we can answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah. But again, that's part of the
Experience.
the experience, the energy feeding off of it. Just the excitement of actually dealing with human beings, right? I mean, not just automatons, not just digits on a screen, but actually real life people.
We're real life people, and we're dealing with real life people.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, this isn't no spectator sport.
Yeah, and again, it's important for us to maintain, and we do maintain our outdoor ministry. Just for those who may have seen the Lampshade, the Blood Moon Saga, which is a videotaping
Season 1 through 7
of our outdoor ministry. We no longer do the videotaping aspect of our outdoor ministry, but we still go out there in the street corners every Yah willing, every Sabbath day, do the word of the Lord, to do the Lord's work there in those street corners, as was prophesied that his people would do in these later days. And this is another extension of that, in a sense, because in the outdoor ministry, we talk to our brothers and sisters who don't know this truth and educate them on this truth. But now this is an opportunity, as an extension of that, to talk to Israelites, talk to those who may not know they're Israelites. Hell, even talk to Gentiles and heathens who may have questions about what's to come and what what's the judgment coming onto them.
Well, that is a very good point. In truth, these sites are for Israel.
Yeah,
but Israel first. But Israel isn't the only ones that watch the videos, that make comments, that follow the posts. The other nations, the Gentiles, they're always watching.
Yeah.
They're always
sometimes
looking.
They're watching more in force than Israel is.
Sure.
I mean, just being realistic. I mean, so the Most High puts in our spirits to not sell this truth, but to make it available to all nationalities, all races, all people. All right, to be the light of the Lord,
light to
these Gentiles.
Yeah.
To bear the light of the Lord, and that's what we do. All right, we're not saying that only Israelites can be on this channel, or only this, or only that. We're saying that we're doing this for everybody. For Israel first, but anyone who's willing to to listen, who's willing to humble themselves, and to listen to the word of the Lord, the truth of the Lord, and fellowship with Israel, you're welcome to come through.
Yeah.
And ask questions.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, so let's go ahead and move into some of our other topics today. Again, we'll just go into them, and when you guys have a question,
just go ahead and give it to us, and we'll
go ahead and ask it. We'll
be patient with us, and we're going back and forth to see whenever the questions do start coming in, because this is a new thing for Lampshades Ministry, so I can understand why some people may be a little reluctant to ask a question here or there. But just know that we're here to answer your questions. We're going to be going over our particular points or whatever have you, but we're always looking to see whether there's a question that we can then address to the children of Israel and to the heathens and the Gentiles and so forth and so on. There is no dumb questions, as long as your question is meant to be answered for the edification of the viewers, the children of Israel, the elect, whomever would benefit from the answer of the question.
Well, this may be a little bit off topic, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
There is no topic right now.
Yeah, we're just free floating. Yeah. But yeah, I know that we've had a lot of drum ups for Mirror Images, the series called After Image. I think one of the other things that you might notice about the podcast is that there are no commercials. These guys might check on the podcast. Usually, if you're watching one of the standard series that we do, you see commercials. You're not going to be seeing them now on the podcast.
Yeah.
So just want to give you guys an update on that. Heads up on that. We're that's moved out past this upcoming astrological signs, obviously. So we'll be getting to work, y'all willing, if there's opportunity after these astrological signs. So not this month, not next month, but we'll have to take a look at what's going on at that time.
Yeah, what's going on in the world at that time.
Yeah. So there really is no way of knowing what's going to be looking out 2 months from now. That's what the scriptures say. Basically, leave your worries for tomorrow and tomorrow. Basically, but just focus on the day. So that's what we're doing. and that's why. So again, because you probably won't see a commercial on this podcast, but we're not doing commercials. Someone just go ahead and bring that up so that you guys know. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't seen Mirror Images 7 movie set, Mirror Images 1 through 7, make sure to watch it.
Of course, maybe we'll put a link to it underneath this podcast. So there's no excuses.
In the description or underneath the podcast.
No excuses. You know?
Yeah, most definitely.
We'll also put a lot of energy and time into those movies. They're Israelite movies.
Yeah, they're Israelite movies.
They're not made by heathens. They're not made by the so-called white people.
Yeah.
They're made by Israelites just like yourself, Yahweh.
Yeah.
And they're blessed by the Most High.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and enjoy the movies, man.
I mean, you got people doing, like, I don't know, exposés on Planet of the Apes and exposés on these different other movies. Those movies are made by heathens.
Yeah.
Those movies are from the heathen perspective. I mean, as
if
Esau don't got, as if Esau don't got enough views. All right, I mean, as if Esau don't have, it's his kingdom. You know?
We're trying to be within our own people, within our own people.
You the first, and in Israel first.
Yeah,
you know, you got
to support spiritually your people.
You got Trump running around talking about America first, right?
No,
you know, and but Israel
right?
First, right? I mean, if you're going to take the time to be sitting there diagnosing something, why not diagnose an Israelite movie?
Mm-hmm.
Why not diagnose, and talk about the positive points and the favorite points of things that are created by your own people?
Yeah.
Why not support your own nation? And again, this is that practice thing that we were talking about. Because if you're not, if you haven't practiced with buy-in to your own nation, then how do you expect to be ready when the kingdom's established and the worker bees are going around going, okay, who's going to want for this? Who's going to want for that? What we going to need for this? What we going to need for that? And then all of a sudden you show up, hey, I want to do this. Or when have you supported your nation? When have you put the time into helping build, with the men of God, your people?
Now, just also remember, when we say build with your people, or we say help your nation, again, we don't get any kind of financial gain.
No, that's our money
from any of these movies, or for any viewer watching these movies.
No, we don't do monetization either.
Yeah,
we're just talking about your opinion.
Yeah, just your opinion.
Just your eyeballs.
Yeah,
I mean, just look and say, hey, that was nice. This was a good, decent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got that point of this, or I maybe have a question about that. I mean, just buy in. Just focus into Israelite stuff.
Yeah, but we're not talking about money. We're not talking about any monetary gains of any sort. Just to make sure there's no misunderstanding. All right, we didn't make these movies
for money.
For money, but we also didn't make them for them never to be seen either. So
I mean, just being real.
Yeah,
and they are getting seen.
Yeah,
and we are thankful for those of you who have seen it. Who have already.
And for those who are subscribers who hasn't seen it yet, get on the ball, man. Watch them.
What you waiting for?
Enjoy them, because they're not gonna be there forever. Esau don't like competition.
No, you don't.
You don't like competition whatsoever. These movies are done in righteousness for a righteous audience.
Yeah, and you don't know just how many haters Esau, Edomites, are trying to tear down this site.
Yeah,
trying to tear down these movies and make sure nobody got a chance to see them. Been biting on the movies while basically trying to ignore them, but yet trying to feed off of them and whatever. Steal ideas from them, whatever. Not. I mean, seriously.
But it's okay, because again, we make these movies, we make these teachings and so forth
for Israel, Israel first.
Israel first, but that everyone can see it and enjoy it. So if Israel don't appreciate it, or don't want it, then these heathens are going to come up and they're going to
swoop it up.
They're going to take what was meant for the children of Israel.
For the children of Israel.
So I mean, again, the Most High is a gracious God and a loving God, and praise be to Yah. And He gives us love for our brethren. He gives us love for our people. And He also gives us love for the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. So we're straight up people, man. I mean, Yah willing, we live in spirit and the truth, man. We're gonna teach you in spirit and in truth. And we're allowing ourselves to be out there so that we can answer your questions. When you have them. And there's a lot of camps that you can't talk to the elders. You can't talk to the people who started this stuff. You can talk to the people on the street corner, but it gets to a higher level, that you can't reach it. Not when you need it.
You know what? let's just keep it real. All right. If the TV starts coming on and they're saying that rockets are being fired in North Korea, or if they're saying that Yosemite is about to blow, or if they're saying that one of the nuclear power plants in America has just has suffered a core meltdown, all of a sudden when niggas are doing live broadcasts, you're gonna have 1,000 people in the queue.
Yeah, we all know it.
There's gonna be words going up and down.
Yeah, 1,000 questions at an hour.
Wouldn't be able to count every single one of the questions.
Mm-hmm.
You see, but right now, brothers are looking left and looking right, and they don't see those things which are coming, and they're thinking to themselves, that somehow this is some kind of entertainment. It's not entertainment. It never was. It never is going to be. These are real life preparations for a soon coming destruction. Is this us?
Yeah, it is. Okay. Here we go. We got a question. S1 Ever Spike.
No, I think that's Silver Spike. I think it's just Silver Spike. The one's supposed to be an I guess. Silver Spike.
Okay, Silver Spike.
It is Silver Spike.
It says, Shalom, I've been reading and studying a lot of the flat earth.
Okay.
What's your stance on the flat earth?
Okay, well, hey, that's a question. Yeah, you see right there. Yeah. That's a question.
Okay, so you want to take that question first, and I'll take it the second one. I know we have pretty much the same thought in regards to flat earth.
Go right here.
Yes, Lampshades Ministry's position on the flat earth is that it is a biblical position, and we believe that this earth is not circular like a ball, but that is indeed flat like a pancake. All right. Now, how do you know that? Well, because the scriptures tells us, in the scriptures it defines the world having four corners, and you can't get four corners on a ball. All right. Look at a basketball. Tell me where the four corners are. Right. You can't get four corners on a basketball. So what the Bible describes is a flat plane. All right. Now, also, if the world is moving like the white man says, again, we don't really believe anything the white man says. But if the world is moving like the white man says and is on a ball spinning around the sun, then why is it that when you put a glass of water down, it doesn't vibrate? Why is it that when you feel an earthquake, it feels different than without an earthquake? I mean, you want to feel the world moving, try to stand up during an earthquake. Try to drive your car during an earthquake, right? So and think of it also when you're in a plane. If the world is moving, then how can a plane land on a landing strip, right? Because by the time it goes up into the air, the earth has moved, and by the time it's trying to land on the ground, the earth is still moving. How can a plane land on a landing strip going straight when the earth is moving under its feet? Doesn't happen, right? It doesn't make no sense. So I mean, to answer your question, Silver
Spike, I think.
Silver Spike. To answer your question, Lampshades Ministry does not believe in a round ball spinning around the sun, earth.
All right, and
we believe in a flat earth as the Bible describes.
Check this out too, because a lot of times when you're talking and then an Edomites around or whatever, they want to try to make it seem as if you're dumb if you're one of those flat earthers, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not real. It's just not. It's not logical. It's not spiritually logical. It's not logical at all to think the earth is round. Even you guys are hypocrites. Even they say in their theories and postulations that an object at rest stays at rest, an object in motion stays in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if an object at rest stays in rest, then it shouldn't move unless it does. And if it does move, you're going to know it through various earthquakes and whatever or not.
Mm-hmm.
But if an object is at motion, then it should stay in motion, meaning there should be a perpetual earthquake. It should be a perpetual shaking. It should just be something we would have to get used to, right? Mm-hmm. So if the world was really spinning and it was really round, spinning at the speed of sound, then earthquakes would be continuous.
Mm-hmm.
But because earthquakes are not continuous, there is more periods of time where there is no movement. Then the non-movement is what is standard, and the earthquake is out of the ordinary, because like the Bible said, the earth is on a sure foundation. You can't be on a surefire foundation if it's spinning.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, try next time you play b-ball. Right. Try spinning around the circle 10 times and shoot the ball and see if you're gonna make it while you're spinning. It don't make no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Tiger Woods couldn't be Tiger Woods if he was spinning on a ball.
Yeah.
Right.
But these are the lies of the so-called white man. So
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it always boils down to, do you want the truth or do you want the sweet taste of a lie? I mean, these Edomites, they got no truth in them.
Yeah.
The real reason why.
Yeah, that's 24/7.
Let's go even a little more deeper with this question. I know you said that we answered your question, but you know,
I didn't hear his response.
We're gonna go a little bit more. We're gonna go a little bit more deeper. Okay, we're gonna go a little more deeper. If you knew that the earth was flat, right, and that there was a dome set around the earth, so that mankind couldn't leave the flat plane into space or whatever, then you would recognize that obviously that dome was put there by somebody, right? That this planet, as we know it, was created by somebody. It's like going into a zoo and seeing the zoo animals realizing that there's a gate around their enclosure. That would make them realize that they wasn't in the wild, that they was actually in an enclosed structure, right? So the white man don't want you to realize that the world is flat, Esau, with a dome over it, because that would tell you right then and there that there was a God, and that God had power over the earth, and they don't want you to know that. So then Silver Spike, he said, thank you for answering that. When O started studying, it made me look at the sky different, knowing that I'm looking at angels. How could Yah shake the earth and people feel it if it was a globe and spinning? Yeah, I mean, the lies of the white man don't make no sense when it comes to the scriptures, because the Edomites don't know the scriptures, you know, not in righteousness, and they want to push forth lies and deception, so you don't look at the Bible and realize that the Bible is true.
You know, hey, I just had to say, Silver Spike, man. I mean,
thanks for the question.
Thanks for the question. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, thanks for the question. And that's what we're here for. We're here to answer your questions.
Sure.
And to communicate
but
live with Israel.
But I just gotta say, man, I mean, we put so many comments, whatever, on posts before, and I remember looking at that bill and having like 15, 20 different Edomites and other nations or whatever trying to scream against flat earth, or trying to scream against the truth of the Israelite truth or whatever or not. And all of a sudden now we're doing live shows. Hey, it's crickets. Crickets, right? I mean, so when you ask a question about flat earth, right? And we can give you an explanation, pretty much. We don't use it doing your own study. Anybody who actually looks at the flat earth information, whatever, knows it's true. It's extremely compelling, right? And you don't hear nobody going on the live chat talking about, oh no, the earth is round. Oh no, it's just a ball. It's spinning in space. It's the speed of sound, right? All of a sudden, it's crickets. It's crickets. But yet, if you were to go on a post talking about flat Earth, right, you'd have all kinds of people jump out of a boat, all Edomites and other nations, and even some Israelites, some Jakes who don't want to still drinking the Kool-Aid, jumping out of a bowl of rice, trying to argue you down. But it's just interesting that when the men of God are available, we're right here. We ain't ducking and we ain't dodging, and all of a sudden, all these people are silent.
Well, it would remind me of Yeshua when he was on the earth, and the Pharisees and the Sadducees was asking questions, and he answered their questions, and so well to the extent that they agreed among themselves not to ask him any more questions. Now, of course, we love the fact that our brethren are on here asking us questions, and again, Silver Spike, that was a very good question that you asked. We would hope that others would take the example that you have began by asking questions and getting involved in this podcast,
and that's what we would like them to do.
And that's what we're here for. We're here for your questions, O Israel. don't feel as if you're walking this path alone.
But if they don't, oh well. Take the lead. You know what I'm saying? Take the lead. You know what? Bust it out there. Put it out there. Get the get the questions that you normally wouldn't have ability to ask the children of God, the other Israelites directly, because some people are in this truth, but they're in a city or a town or a state where there's not a whole lot of Israelites there. Not a whole lot of people who are woken up to this truth. I mean, this truth is all around the world. Don't get it twisted, especially through the internet and through the hard work of the Akim out there on the street corners and whatever not. This truth is spreading. It's everywhere.
Worldwide.
Yeah, but you may live in a town, Edomite town or somewhere, and you might not have practicing Israelites next to you. So this is a wonderful opportunity to interact, to socialize with Israelites. Even if it is online, it's still live, baby.
Yeah, and it's also a good opportunity to get extra information. Like Silver Spike was talking about how he was studying and he always had a little question and he wanted to bring up the question, right? Study to show yourself approved, but we study to show ourselves approved as well. So it's a great opportunity to learn and to teach the children of Israel in regards to the word of the Most High.
Yeah. Great. Well, hey, Mr. Silver Spike, since you asked the question, let's ask you a question, right? Somebody got to get this thing jumping off. So you said you was looking into what they call it, the flat Earth. What made you start doing that? Well, when did you just look up and realize to yourself, hey, everything ain't the way Esau said it's going to be, and actually started looking into it? What was your motivation for looking at the flat Earth controversy?
Okay, and Silver Spike, he says that he's in Orlando himself. Okay, yeah. Silver Spike, do you know what tribe you're from? Do you know whether you're from what tribe you're actually from? Are you Jake? Are you from Judah, or are you from another one of the 12 tribes? Just to ask you, just to let you, whenever you have time to answer.
He said he said I always gaze at the stars for the question of what got him into the flat Earth.
Okay. You just love the night sky?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that? Judah mostly. So your dad's Judah, your mom's something else?
Okay, so
what's up?
So Silver Spike says that I'm in Orlando. I always gaze at the stars. I love the night sky. Judah, most likely. Okay, so he doesn't necessarily know, and that's true when it comes to our people. Our people have a hard time knowing some of them, their lineage, because the father may not have been around, the mother may have been on some sort of problems, maybe with drugs or alcohol or just poverty, man.
Well, check.
And the ultimate knowledge of who you are may escape you, but the Most High says that the Spirit testifieth.
Yeah, Spirit testifieth. Judah's the leadership tribe. Okay, Judah went first to battle, every battle. Judah was the first one out there running around, right? Judah leads by example, right? So again, Spirit testifies. If you are so moved, ask questions, articulate your points, really put your blood on the ice. And again, that's just an expression. Again, the Spirit testifies. We would also welcome the other viewers, more subscribers that are watching, that are jumping on.
And of course, again, we're going to be looking at the comments to see if there's any more questions.
Yeah.
Be active. Be active. But just to keep on moving on and moving forward in all of this, like we was talking with before, as we get closer to August 21st, 2017, as we get closer to that solar eclipse that is about to, the Most High is about to showcase. Remember, again, we didn't make that solar eclipse happen. We are noticing it. The Most High put in our spirit to talk about it and to warn Israel. All right, if you got stuff in your life, man, if you're still struggling with the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, right? This is the time to work out those issues in your life.
Yeah.
This is the time to put down the drugs, to put down the weed, to put down the drinking, to put down the sex out of marriage, to put down the having a marriage or hooking up with these heathens. This is the time to remove those blots off of your garment, off of your spiritual garment, because the God of Israel is coming, man. It's the redemption is coming. Okay, so it's time for us as a people to come back to the Most High in spirit and truth, and now is the time to do so. Because this is the 8th of August. There's only a little bit more time, a few more days prior to the solar eclipse, and it's Lampshades Ministries' position that the solar eclipse is the sign for the 7-year Great Tribulation that's coming up, man. That same solar eclipse isn't going to happen again for another 7 years. All right, but again, so now it's the time to get yourself clean, man.
As is written, it's a covenant of salt, right? I mean, if you can make that covenant with your the things that are most important to you, all these sins that you've been struggling with your whole life, all these things that you've been that have been monkeys on your back, that you can if you can put those things down and build your sacrifice on that, then praise be the Most High. Now, it's the things that you don't want to give up that the Most High deserves the most. I mean, he wants that which you don't want to give, because there's nothing more important than him. Seek first kingdom of heaven, and all other things will be added on to you.
Mm-hmm.
So now is the time, and now is the time not just because of the solar eclipse, not just because of the astrological signs. Now is the time because if you look inside yourself, aren't you tired of of the sinful world? Aren't you tired of Esau, being in control? Aren't you tired of this captivity? I mean, hasn't gotten old yet, right? Most High says that the kingdom doesn't come by observation, that because the kingdom is in us. So look inside yourself, look inside your heart. We feel the quickening of the end.
The time of redemption is closer now
than
when we first believed.
Yeah.
I mean, so
you can see,
the Most High, he's moving us to go faster, to go. That's why Yahshua was saying, don't be lukewarm.
Oh, yeah.
Either be hot for this truth or cold. All right, don't be trying to skip in the center of it.
And
that's what we're trying to move Israel. Let Israel know that now is the time to start speeding up. Now is the time to start putting your best efforts to do the will of the Lord. Now we got some more.
We got Faustulus Maximus, and he goes, "Yes, I love your channel, by the way." Oh, well, thank you very much. And we do. Oh wait, yes, I must say, question: how do we start this change? I am nervous about this eclipse too.
And that's what I'm talking about. This is what we're here for. We're here to communicate with Israel, but also to warn them and let them know what's coming. Because you know what? We can have a great podcast today, but when that solar eclipse comes, when the judgment of God comes upon this wicked world, if your ass is getting killed, if your ass is getting swept away by the flash floods and dying because of the famine and so forth and so forth, if the judgment falls upon you grievously, then what was the advantage of this podcast for you? This podcast is allowing you to get the answers and get the understanding that you need in order to make a change for your life. All right, look at your own life, man. You are best critical of your life than us would be. You know what you're doing. Okay, you know whether you're drinking. You know whether you're messing around with these other heathen nations. You know whether you're having sex out of wedlock or not. You know whether you're believing in JC, Muslim, Muhammad, or whatever the fuck. You know what you're doing that doesn't coincide with the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, right? Mm-hmm. Now, in regards to the 10 Commandments, we're going to go ahead and let you know real quickly, right? We already know there's other statutes and laws as well, but we're going to just go with the 10 Commandments right now. First to love God, obviously put no God before Him, meaning love Yah over anything else. All right. Number 2 is don't make any idols of wood and stone. Don't bow down to them. Don't work for them.
Of the heavens or the earth.
Of the heavens or the earth. That means no JC, no sculptures, no Mother Mary,
no stars,
12 disciples, statues, no Star of David or Shield of David or whatever you want to put it on. No idols of wood and stone, period. Number 3, don't take the Lord's name in vain, right? That means don't be speaking out your mouth vanities towards the Lord, man. Don't use his name for no purpose, for no reason, or for selfish reasons, or for selfish purposes, right?
Yep.
Number 4, honor the Sabbath, man. The Sabbath is Friday night to Saturday night. All right. That means no buying, no selling, right?
Yep.
All right. And even in the book of Jubilees and Yasher and stuff like that,
it gets even more precise.
It even gets even more deeper by telling you don't search for your own pleasure. I mean, don't even have sex with your wife on Sabbath day, because the Sabbath day is of the Lord, is for the Lord.
And for him only.
And for him only. He wants a personal relationship with you, a reconnection with you on the Sabbath. So no buying, no selling, no doing no work, no doing no chores.
Yeah, on the Sabbath.
And no sleeping with your wives on the Sabbath. Now, we're going to tell you that because we in Lampshades Ministry, we don't tickle the ear. Okay? We're not dumbing this down for Israel. Nope. You may not get this from camps and other ministries out there because it's a hard teaching. But we're going to give it to you straight. All right? One of the things is not to be with your wife on Sabbath day.
So like, not be with my wife on Sabbath, I'm out of here.
Yeah, they're out of here, you know, but
these guys are fanatics.
But we're going to tell you anyway because that's within the scriptures, okay? All right. Obviously, number 5, honor your father and your mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean if your father and your mother is a Christian, you honoring them by going into their churches. He's not talking about that.
No, that's not.
Honoring your father and mother, honoring your forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, by coming back to the Most High in spirit and in truth, and honoring them by being a good servant to the Lord.
You know, you're honoring your forefathers by picking up this truth. You know, and
coming back to your heritage.
Back to the Most High, come back to your heritage.
In spirit and in truth.
Yep. That's
all right. Do not kill. All right. But we know it's really do not murder because Israel killed when the Most High commanded us to kill. When the Most High commanded us to drive out those heathens off of their land of Canaan and us to assume command over the land of Canaan, turning it to Israel. Mm-hmm. So it's not so much to not kill, but to not murder. Murder is when you kill someone without the commandment of the Lord, without the backing of the Most High. All right. And Yahshua said, if you hate your brother in your heart, you are already a murderer. Why? Because the Most High commands us to what? Love our brethren. So again, do not kill is really do not murder. All right. And to murder is to kill or to disobey the commandment of the Most High. Yeah. All right. So loving your brother in your heart is a commandment of the Most High. So if you hate your brother in your heart, you're actually a murderer to the Most High. All right. Adultery. Yeah. Do not commit adultery. All right. Don't be trying to have sex with somebody else who's not your wife. And it's also do not be commit fornication. Don't be having sex with people who are not your wife.
And you're not trying to marry.
And you ain't trying to marry.
No one night stands.
No one night stands. No prostitution.
No swinging.
Yeah, none of that stuff. All right. Also, do not steal. You know, do not steal means obviously don't take what's not yours. Right. Don't find $1 on the ground and see somebody drop it. You want to pick it up or put it under your foot and wait until they walk away. And now you put it in your pocket. Now you got the money. Do not steal, man. The Most High is going to take care really of His servants. He's going to take care of the man of God. We have never seen a man of God begging for bread in the street. All right. Those people who be begging for bread in the street is because they're not men of God, because they have sinned or whatever which way, and they're in their circumstances. The Most High has given them up to those circumstances. But those who follow the law, statutes, and commandments, who have the Lord in their heart, who's with the Lord, He's going to make sure that their needs are taken care of. That's the reason why Lampshades Ministry don't ask for tithes and offerings. Because we know personally that the scriptures, tithes and offering wasn't about money. It was about oil. It was about water. It was about other things of that nature. All right. But it wasn't about money. The Most High cared less about a dollar bill with a dead president on it. Yeah. All right. So these people taking tithes and offerings of money, they're stealing. Right. Why? Because they're fleecing the flock, and the flock is not to be fleeced in that manner. Yeah. So they're stealing in that way. Okay, and that's obviously don't bear false witness.
You don't bear false witness.
Yeah, false witness is basically the Most High don't want you to say something that's not true. Say you saw something that you didn't see, or someone didn't do something that you know they did do. Don't give a false witness to something. All right, And then obviously, do not covet.
Yeah, that's the other ones.
Now, do not covet is simple, man. Don't be lusting after what somebody else got.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody else got 4 wives and you only got 1 wife, don't be lusting after that other nigga's wives because you want to have what they have.
Yeah.
If somebody got a nice car and you don't got that car, maybe you walking, don't be lusting after that car that the other guy got. And don't be lusting after these heathens and what they got, right? Yeah. They got President Trump, they got fucking the UN, they got all this other shit. Don't be looking at them like, oh man, we wish we had what they got.
Who cares?
We don't care what they got because we know the Most High got something better for us, y'all willing.
Yeah, willing.
Right? So we ain't lusting after what they got because everything that they have is what they have. The Most High is going to give us something that's going to be so greater than them that they're going to be the ones lusting after us.
Yeah, so check it. The reason why we went over with you with the 10 commandments, the other commandments, and the biblical laws and so forth, or whatever, whatnot. But that's how you right the ship, right there. Postulus maximus. You put one foot in front of the other, and if you're going to put one foot in front of the other, start with the law. Start with the Most High law, statutes, and commandments. That's how you begin. Okay. Silver Spike says, but something didn't seem right when I found out about the watches and the 7 wandering stars.
Oh, he's talking about the other
book of Enoch.
The book of Enoch.
And he also says, okay, it's not easy, but I believe I can keep the commandments much better.
Yeah. Again, in regards to the commandments, you're going to keep the commandments to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Okay. We know that because we're living in Babylon, it's difficult, obviously. I mean, you can't walk out the door without seeing some woman wearing skimpy clothes on, wearing fucking booty huggers on, and so forth and so forth. We understand that, pray, but yeah, we're men. Obviously, we understand. But you need to come back to law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, man. Fight this wickedness, man. Fight the devil and his temptations.
Like the Most High said, like it's written in His word, do everything you can
to stand. You know, everything you can. That way, when the end of all this, you know you did your best. Yeah. You didn't leave nothing for chance. You ain't talking about when the end comes, I wish I had more time, or I wish I could turn back the clock. No, it's best to do everything that you can to stand for the Lord, okay? Not for yourself, man. We're not trying to tell you to search out your own righteousness. Yeah. You got to search out the righteousness of the Lord. While he is close, now he can be found. Yeah. Right? You need to search out his righteousness to be put upon you.
If not now, when?
And put your faith in Yahshua HaMashiach because he lived his whole life perfect to the law. We're not telling you that the law is going to save you. We're telling you that having faith in the Most High through Yahshua HaMashiach and come back to the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability shows them that you love them. Because Yahshua said, any man who says that they love him but do not abide by the commandments of the Lord is a liar. Yeah. So love is connected to obedience to his commandments.
It's following God's laws, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability.
To the best of your ability. Again, nobody's perfect. We ain't saying, if you was perfect, then you wouldn't need to be redeemed. Yeah. When the Most High says, look up for your redemption, draw nigh, he's telling you to do so because he knows we're dirty and we need to be redeemed. Most definitely. So there's no shame in admitting that, the law, statutes, and commandments,
area or that area.
You need work on it. Yeah. Pray be to Yah.
Pray be to Yah.
We all do.
We all do. But Most High says our righteousness is like filthy rags.
It's like filthy rags.
So and any man who says he has no sin is a liar.
Is a liar.
So ain't nobody saying that, you better be pressed to perfect,
yeah.
or you ain't getting in.
Yeah.
We're saying that you need to follow God's law, statutes,
to the best of your ability.
The best of your ability.
And
put your faith in the Most High to make up the difference.
Because remember,
whatever else is still found lacking.
This is about faith too, man. And build your faith up, man. Build your faith.
Which is what we was talking about when it comes to practice.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta practice your faith.
Yeah.
Right?
And the little things, and it gets stronger over time. Yeah. People take for granted praying over their food.
Oh yeah.
Because they think, I cooked my food already. I already made it. I already prepared it. It's all good. But pray over that food. Ask the Most High to cleanse it.
That's the practice of faith.
Was the practice of faith? Because look, when Fukushima Daiichi disaster happened in 2011, where that nuclear waste being kicked into the ocean, right? With that nuclear waste coming over the air into America from California, right? So praying over your food ain't so symbolic anymore. Oh yeah, right? Because that food is contaminated with radiation. You are contaminated with radiation ever since 2011. So praying over food, it may seem like a small thing, right? An exercise of faith, but it ain't so small anymore. Because there are people, there's Israelites right now dying because of cancer, right? Who may never even see the solar eclipse.
Yeah. You can't, again, you can't take nothing for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take the Most High for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And take every opportunity you have to practice that faith in order to build that faith up.
Mm-hmm.
It may be praying over your rent, your water bill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, you may have a job or income, and you may feel to yourself that you know you're going to be able to pay it or whatever, whatnot. But pray for it anyway. You know, give the Most High the glory for that. You know, let him know thank you. You know, don't take him for granted. Give him every honor that you possibly can, so that when the big things come, you have all this
Extra
faith
yeah.
stored up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, you know what? My job just let me go, but the Most High been, you know, paying, getting the rent done and the water done and my food, and he been taking care of me all this time. I know he got me next month too.
Mm-hmm. Because also realize something too, our forefathers never made it to the land of milk and honey, those who originally came out of Egypt.
Yeah.
Right? Because, and what the Most High said about them was they had no faith. So faith is very important. We're in the second Egypt, man. And the Most High is promising that he's going to bring us to the land of milk and honey. But guess what? There's going to be 2/3 of our brethren who don't get to the land of milk and honey, just like they didn't get to the land of milk and honey back in ancient Egypt. Why? Because of lack of faith. Okay? So this is the time for you to build that faith, young brother, in this truth. This is the time to build that faith. And I know what you was talking about before. You said, you know, about your wife. You know, it's easier. This is, again, a silver spike. It's easier because my wife is helping me to stay consistent because she supports and lets me lead her. And blessed be the Most High. I mean, if you have a wife, even though you're in this truth, then that's good. You know, that's good for you if she's helping you to stay consistent in this truth and to keep studying and to obey by the law, statutes, and commandments. If she's holding you to task as a man of God, then that's a good thing. You know, praise be to Yah.
Yeah, as the scripture says, it's a good thing when you find a wife.
It's a good thing when you find a wife. You know, for some people that wife is a positive. For some people that wife is the opposite. But in your case, it's a positive. So praise be the Most High that He's giving you a wife that can help you. But remember this though, the Most High deals with the man of God. All right. So though she's helping you, it's still up to you, obviously, to make the connections back to the Most High, to seek the Most High. Okay, you can't, you know, it's not to have a good wife and everything else. But even Yahshua was saying, you know, that sell everything you have, pick up your cross, and follow Him. All right. So it's all about the Most High. It's all about coming to this truth and spirit. And if she helps you with that, that's a good thing. But you have to find the motivation within yourself. Why? Because you don't know what tomorrow brings, man. You don't know what tomorrow brings. All right. There could be some people out there who may lose a wife, who may lose a daughter, who may lose a son. And if they're the reason why you're doing this or you're strong in this, then them being taken out can shake and break your world. So you need to make sure you have a personal relationship with the Most High and let the Most High be the reason that you're in this truth and you're maintaining this truth. Because when the world takes away all that you have, or may possibly take away all that you have, they can't take away the Most High from you. So the Most High is the best motivation to doing this truth. But again,
but it's our faith that it's the Most High that's motivating you to do this truth. I mean, hey, we're both children of the Most High, right? It's a live show. Of course you're gonna say that your wife's your motivation, bro. Of course you're gonna say that. She may up and come and watch this live broadcast when it's on this site later. You better say that. Of course. You know, bro. So it's all good. But yeah, the men of God, you know, the Israelites of Scripture, the Jews of Scripture, we lead, bro. We lead, and finding every opportunity. You know, it's humbling to make sure that you're putting up the praise to the Most High. It's humbling to make sure that you're attributing the things that you may before took them for granted, but you're attributing those things to the Most High. It's a form of humility, you know, and practicing your faith before the big thing comes along. You know, the big thing comes along. It's gonna be when that big thing comes along, you don't want to be sitting there trying to build up your faith then, because it's going to be too late. It's going to be one of those things, you got it or you don't. You know, you want to prepare for those times. Now, some people may be going through that stuff right now. Brother, me being humble, this is Jacob's trouble, and we're in the curses. So some people have, it could be a little heavy on one end or a little lighter on another. Maybe you don't have as much problems in the marriage field. Maybe you ain't got much problems with the wife, right? But there'll be 25, 30 brothers who'll tell you otherwise. You know, who'll tell you about how their wife left them, who'll tell you about how their kids left them, who'll tell you about how they're all alone, right? Now, the wife may not be that for you, but maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a financial. Maybe it's you know, your job just cut you loose. Maybe, you know, maybe Esau's trying to throw you in jail. Maybe it's something else with you that wouldn't be that way with somebody else. So again, it's, you know, it's here a little, there a little, even when it comes to these curses and the intensity that you may feel for one over another.
And that's also what we're telling Israel, you know, in the spirit of the Most High, you know, look at your life critically.
Oh yeah,
look at your life critically. Okay, don't look at the positives of your life. Look in the crevices of your life, of the things that you're doing that is not pleasing unto the Lord. Because you can come here and tell us, oh, you know, everything's hunky dory. You have perfect kids. You have a perfect wife. You have a perfect family. You know.
Well, that's what you're gonna say.
You can tell us all those things, but that doesn't help anything. It's better for you to look critically at your life, right, and to identify the things of your life, right, that needs work or needs to be corrected, like we have to do.
Build your faith, bro.
Like we said before many times in our own personal testimony. I know for me personally, right? Like I said, we live in spirit and in truth, so we ain't hiding nothing.
Let's just keep it real.
For me, before coming into this truth, I was married to a heathen. I was married to a heathen from Cambodia. I had a son with that heathen from Cambodia, my only son. And then the Most High came in a dream, let us know who we were, let us know that he was going to give us a ministry, let us know he wanted us to go out and engage the children of the Most High and let them know that he's coming, right? And prepare them to the best of our ability, you know, for his coming. You know, it came to a point where, you know, reading these scriptures, you know, knowing the Most High don't want us to be married to these heathens, it came to a point where you had to look at my life and say, you know what, I got to let that girl go. I got to let my wife go. I got to send her to her country, to her people. All right? And it was a hard decision. It was a deep decision. But a brother had to look at his own life and make damn sure that the sins that he had in his life was corrected in the time that the Most High is given. See, the Most High ain't playing no games, nor are we playing no games. We're in the spirit of the Most High right now. When two or more come together in his name, he is in the midst.
Yep.
All right, so we ain't playing games with you either. You know, look in your life. You know, find out in your life. Don't lie to yourself.
Not that you are, because again,
but we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So
yeah,
there's something. You need to look in your life critically.
Yeah.
All right. And deal with that.
Because
and be honest about it. Because honesty and coming in spirit and in truth is what the Most High is all about. He already knows.
Yeah.
We've talked to people before and they're like, hey, you said my name and at this time of minute, was you talking about me? And we'd be like, we didn't know we was talking about you. But the Most High Spirit just called out to that person to let him know that he was dealing with pride. Let that nigga know that he was dealing with vanity and that's what he needed to cut away from his life in order to come back to him. Right?
Yeah.
So our function is to communicate with the children of Israel, but also to reveal to them their sins so that they may, in fact, turn from their sins and be saved.
That's why it's so important to really look critically into your life, look critically into your heart, whatever not. You don't want to wait until the Most High comes or reveals himself to work on it.
Yeah.
You don't want to look to him to reveal it in the time that his anger and his wrath is here. Yeah. He's revealing it to you in this conversation right now and in other aspects of your life before that time, before that period of time.
Yeah, you don't want to be looking around. You don't want to be looking around when there's earthquakes happening and your house is breaking down and there's a big chasm going on about to swallow you and your family up. Talking about,
is there something I can give up in my life? Is there something I can let go? Is there things that I could do better?
To finally say to yourself, I shouldn't have used that. I shouldn't have been addicted to that drinking. I shouldn't have been using that weed. I knew it was a drug. I shouldn't have been watching that pornography on the slide. and that no one would know about it because I never mentioned it to anybody.
That's right.
This is the time to
look at your
let
life critically
go
and let
of
go of
your
those
sins,
things. Yeah.
and don't try to hide them.
Yeah.
Don't try to put them under a rug. We openly tell people who we were before coming into the truth and the decisions that we have to make even in this truth. Why?
That's right.
Because the Most High calls us to come in truth and in spirit, man. You can't be in truth and in spirit talking a bunch of lies, try to pretend to be something you ain't. This is the time where, confess what it is that you're dealing with so that the man of God can pray for you and to help you and guide you through them.
Yeah.
That's why we're here too.
Yeah, because same thing with me. I mean, I had an Asian wife, and I had 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of years ago, they, I had to let them go.
Mm-hmm.
I had to let them go. This truth came up, and they was like, this is either this truth or them.
And it's true.
It's either your Israelite God or your family is like peace. I mean,
and these are the real life decisions Israel's making during this Jacob's trouble, man.
And again,
so it ain't paradise. It's not rest.
No, it's not rest.
And
don't get it twisted. The brother's not telling you this in to say that this is what you got to do.
No,
right?
But we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So you got to identify what it is that you're doing that's a sin to the Most High and seek the help to forgive and to turn away
and to overcome it.
Yeah, to repent from it.
I mean, again,
and that doesn't happen with sweet lies.
Yeah, again, everybody got their things,
mm-hmm.
But this is that covenant of sacrifice.
Yeah.
With the Most High.
Yeah, the scriptures tell us
that's what it is
to confess, to let people know what you're dealing with, man.
For me, it was my family.
Yeah,
my wives and my kids.
Yeah. That wasn't of Israel.
That wasn't of Israel.
Yeah.
But anything that is more important
than the
practical to the Most High is the thing that you need to sacrifice,
mm-hmm.
right? Because it's like Cain and Abel, right? When it came to their sacrifices, Abel sacrificed the fat of his goats. Cain sacrificed
the
fruit of his field. It wasn't that the Most High didn't like Cain's sacrifice necessarily. It wasn't like he necessarily liked Abel's sacrifice over Cain necessarily, because the Most High said in His Word about how the fat of rams or fat of bulls, are nothing to Him because He owns everything's His.
Mm-hmm.
And if He was really hungry, He wouldn't come to you because of His hunger. There's nothing you could do about it if He was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Nor could all the fats of the rams satisfy His hunger if He was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it wasn't about Him choosing lambs and rams over fruit, because we also are and vegetables. Because we also know the Most High says the first fruit of Israel, and that's because that's talking about fruits and vegetables,
mm-hmm.
right? So it wasn't what it was why it was,
mm-hmm.
right? Those for Abel, he sacrificed the fat of the lamb. This lamb was one that he raised up. This lamb was one that he put a bottle in his mouth. This lamb was one that he loved, that he cuddled in his hands, that he kept warm when it was a baby. This lamb was important to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it was important to the Most High.
Yeah.
Right?
Just
Abel loved that lamb.
Just like
so the Most High loved it. And then with Cain,
mm-hmm.
Cain gave the Most High the most crappiest piece of garbage, from his field work.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff that he wouldn't want himself, stuff that he was like spoiled and old. So as to physically not take a loss, he went ahead and sacrificed that. And the Most High didn't give a damn about that. Why? Because Cain didn't give a care. He didn't care about it.
Yeah, just like when David told the guy he wanted to buy the horse, and the guy was like, "Oh, just take it. You're the king. Just take it." And he's like, "I'm not gonna sacrifice." I'm not sure if it was a horse.
It was lambs and rams and whatever, sheep or whatever.
But he's like, "I'm not gonna sacrifice unto my God.
That cost me
nothing. I mean, that's for real."
So sacrifice is
a part of all this.
Yeah, sacrifice is what's important to you.
What you love the most. Is what it's
the best sacrifice
for the Lord. And niggas ain't talking about actually killing somebody.
No.
We're just talking about in the spirit, sacrificing unto the Lord.
Yeah, in terms of what's important.
You get some Edomite talking about these guys are talking about killing people. So but just make that clear.
But it's in the spirit.
Yeah.
A brother didn't think to himself, okay, I'm going to sacrifice necessarily my wife and my kids. Or what the brother thought to himself was, the Most High is more important than my wife and my kids. And once you made that decision in your life, all of a sudden, stuff started happening, and they started going down that road, and I was more prepared for it because I made that decision in my heart and in my mind and my spirit. That if this be what is to be, so be it.
Now, also, Mr. Silver Spike said, no, everything isn't great. Though when I'm in sin, I get these dreams. Now, that's a really big statement, because I can perfectly understand when it comes to the dream aspect, because the Most High is coming back to His people. He's giving us dreams and visions, letting us know when we're doing stuff that He isn't approved upon.
Yeah.
And when He's trying to utilize these dreams in order to correct those ways, so we can be good to go when He comes. So I can definitely understand when you talk about dreams and so forth.
Yeah, because a dream could be a big warning.
Yeah,
a warning sign, and you don't want to wait.
But also feel comfortable, man. I mean, like I said,
it's just live.
It's just live. It's just
Israel. It's just us here.
You don't have to. Don't feel as if you have to, to conceal. The Most High knows what it is that you've done or that you do in sin, right?
Yeah,
He's giving you these dreams, but you know why it is that you're getting these dreams. You know why it is. Maybe it's looking at pornography. Maybe it's lusting after other women other than your wife. Maybe it's whatever the case it may be. Maybe it's drinking or drugs or weed or cigarettes.
And you don't have to confirm anything unless you feel comfortable.
Unless you feel comfortable. We do, because we live in spirit and in truth.
And we live in spirit and truth. Yeah. So we're not putting you on blast. You don't have to again, unless the Most High put it in your heart.
Your spirit. But remember, the Most High says, "Come back to His spirit and truth." The Most High already knows.
Yeah, He knows.
He knows. And when two or more is together, He is in their midst.
Truly in the midst.
If you want the Most High to look into your circumstance, that's the reason why the children of Israel came to the men of God back in the day, right? When they sinned against the Most High, they came to the men of God to stand in the gap for them, to help them.
Right? And also that's
our function as well. That's why those who come in the name of the Lord, the Most High said that Yahshua said that He ain't coming back until the people say, "Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord." And Lamb Shades Ministry come in the name of the Lord. So I mean, praise be to God. That's why we're here.
It's not just for you. There's people who are watching this who are also dealing with dreams,
busy,
and other things that are going on in their life. Yeah, it's very important that you noted the fact that this had to do with ill behavior, and that when the Most High ain't happy, everything starts shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing starts going right. I mean, when the relationship, if you take Adam and Eve for instance, when the relationship with the Most High was going well, he was frolicking through the Garden of Eden, walking with the Most High at the cool of the day, and everything else. But then the second stuff started going wrong. Then the Most High shows up, and he's hiding in the bushes, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, the way he's acting, the way he's reacting is a totally changed. And that's really what we're talking about. We're gonna go ahead and read these comments that we got right now. I say here, it goes, Silver Spike is saying, yeah, like if I mess up, sometimes I'm scared to go to sleep because when Yah punishes me, I almost know for sure it's coming. And I'm warned in a dream. I still got more to cut out, and I've been trying. It's that last little bit when I'm walking in spirit and truth, I'm on a whole another level. People say they can see me glowing almost, but when I'm doing wrong, people can feel my feelings. It's weird. Okay, I mean,
that's why I say, man, confession is best. Is a cure for a lot of ailments. Being truthful is a cure for a lot of ailments. See, the devil works in darkness. Demons, demonic spirits, they work in darkness. They want secrecy, because see, secrecy allows you to dip back into your sins and no one holding you to account, and you ain't holding yourself to account. You feel remorseful about it. The Most High gives you dreams letting you know that you've done wrong, but just talking with you, just in the spirit, You know, it doesn't stop you from doing those wrong things. You wouldn't have to be afraid to go to sleep if you didn't engage in the wickedness that you were engaging in, or the sin that you had engaged in.
But check it. It's not so much about what people say in terms of what they're noticing, maybe a glow, or whether they're noticing that there's something wrong or whatever. Not. That's people. It's what the Most High says, right? All sin ultimately is a slap in His face.
Yeah, and sin leads to death, man.
Yeah, it's the Most High, and it doesn't matter whether somebody sees you or don't see you. He watches you 24 hours a day, and that's what being in this truth and doing this walk in truth and sincerity means. It means you got to be sincere in your walk
and truthful. Man.
Truthful doesn't mean what other people see. Truthful is if you know the Most High looking at you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? 4 weeks a month, right? 12 months in a year. How are you going to conduct yourself? How are you going to conduct your life?
Yeah,
that's important.
And also take away the power from the devil, man. The devil wants you in secret, because as long as you're in secret talking about ghost sins, you're continuing those sins. All right. The first step is expounding yourself, man. Being honest, man. Letting it go, not keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
You know. So the Lord already knows, but again, don't get it twisted.
If you're so moved, you're so moved. If not, you're not.
Yeah,
but it's more important.
The Most High. So
yeah, we're just letting you know.
We're letting you know what the Spirit, what the Most High puts in our heart to let you know, so that when you may decide that, you know what, the heck what they're talking about, I'm not gonna let no one will ever know. I'm not gonna let go of this secret. I'm not gonna let go. I'm not gonna tell them I'm secretly dipping into pornography. I'm not gonna tell them that I got an old girl that's my wife's sister that I'm lusting after. I'm not. Somebody else may see this. I'm never gonna tell them. But you're holding that secret for the devil, man. And the Most High already knows, and the Most High brought you here on this telecast, on this time, in order to give you the opportunity to let that shit go.
But whatever it is, remember, you know what you do. You're not just a man of the Most High, the children of the Most High on the street corners. You're not just the children of the Most High on a telecast, right? You're the children of the Most High 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just a quick, just a personal for myself, praise be Yah. When when my kids were taken away, when my elders was taken away, and putting child protective services and all that kind of stuff, the police came to my house. They arrested me, right? The police came to my house. They went in my room. They took all my stuff. They went through everything, my cell phone and everything. And they was like, basically, we know these charges are, we know this stuff we're charging them with is garbage. But if we find anything, if we find any little thing that has nothing to do with none of this other stuff that's garbage, we're gonna go ahead and persecute on that, right? And praise be to Yah, thankful to the Most High, a brother's still here, right? Because it didn't matter. No one knew that they were gonna come kicking in the door. Just like you wouldn't know if somebody gonna come, if the devil comes to your house, kicks in the door. You're not gonna know either, right? You know, but you have to live a life of hypocrisy. See, we're the same way on this telecast, on live telecast, on real life on the street corners, blah blah blah.
And we're open and honest when it comes to who we were before coming into this truth.
So a brother was already under investigation. A brother's under investigation from the Most High. So if you know you're under investigation from the Most High, you ain't trying to slip, right? Yeah. Because he watching you. So these little pissantty Edomites, these little pissantty devils, they came in thinking they're gonna catch a brother slipping, but that wasn't the case. Because again, no one's telling anybody to be fake. We're telling you to be real, bro.
Be real.
You know your sins better than anybody. Time to get rid of them. Get rid of them, because at any given time, the Most High can use one of these devils to pull your card to pick up the hood and see what you really nursemaid.
All right, so now, praise be to Yah. Like I said, this is Lamb Says Ministry. We don't tickle the ear. We don't pull no punches. But praise be to Yah. Now this is the opportunity for you to get to the nitty gritty of what's going on. Praise be to Yah. All right. It says here, for Silver Spike, it's that last little bit when I'm walking in spirit and truth. I'm gonna read back a little bit.
Sure.
I'm on a whole another level. People say they can see me glowing almost, but when I'm doing wrong, people can feel my feelings. It's weird. Now, I never cheat, but pornography had been a problem throughout my life. I've been away for it for a few days, but the temptation never goes away. I'm only able to fight it. I put my faith in Yah. I need to stop drinking. It's killing my basketball career. Okay, but this is now we're going somewhere. Praise be Yah. Now we're going somewhere. I think we're at an hour and a half. Yeah. This is what we're doing it for. Now we're getting somewhere. Drinking and pornography. Now let me tell you this. Before we came into this truth, we were addicted to pornography too. Yeah. Right? We had a whole computer versus pornography. Animation pornography was the pornography of choice. All right. But the Most High put that down in us. All right. Prior to coming into this truth. And he can do the same thing for you. All right. Because you already took the first step by confessing, man. Yeah, you took the first step by confessing. There's a lot of people who will die with their sins because they refuse to let it go. They refuse to face it, right? In the name of the Most High.
In the name of the Most High, and be saved.
Okay? Time's running out. Yeah, Yahshua Mashiach, he died for Israel. He died for you. And you did the first step by coming back to the Most High in spirit and in truth. Yeah. All right? And the drinking thing, pray. We that wasn't really our thing. I mean, that wasn't my thing, should I say, personally. Hey, but I did
way back in the wind. I did have the thing for certain types of drinks.
Way back in the day in the military, I used to drink wine. Yeah, and my wife at the time thought that it was getting a little bad, so I told her, you know what, I'm just gonna stop cold turkey just to show you that I'm not addicted to this drink. And then before you know it, after a couple of weeks, I never went back to it. So praise be to Yah. But we're gonna take the opportunity now. I'm gonna pray for you, young brother. We're gonna pray for you. Pray for the Most High again, because the Most High brought you here for a reason. So we're gonna do our job with the Most High and make sure you get every spiritual blessing out of this that you can get. So just close your eyes with us for a moment. Y'all be thy name, that kingdom come, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive those who debted against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever and ever. Oh Yah, please hear our voices today, hear our prayers for this young brother and for the children of Israel who may be watching this telecast today. We pray, oh Lord, that he's confessed what it is that is the sin that he has in his heart, the sins that he's working with, that he's trying to overcome, that he's trying to put under his feet, oh Lord. We pray to you, we ask you, oh Lord, to send your angels to him, oh Lord, that they would fight this sin that's in his heart, that would fight these sins that come into his mind, that he would get the power and the strength to overcome those sins, oh Lord, to drive that devil from him, oh Lord, that he no longer would hear or no longer would participate in the devil's will, oh Lord, but that he would fully focus and commit to your will, oh Lord, in these last days, that you would convert his spirit, oh Lord, convert his soul, oh Lord, to the righteousness that you offer to the children of God, and that he would turn away from this day forward from the wickedness that he indulges in with the pornography, oh Lord, with the drinking, oh Lord. We today, oh Lord, in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, we put down that drinking, drunken spirit, demonic spirit. We put down that pornography spirit, that pornography spirit wouldn't have sway in this man's life, wouldn't have sway in this man's heart, wouldn't have sway in this man in his mind, that he would put those things under his feet today, Lord, from this day forward.
And we ask all this in the name of your wonderful son, Yeshua, and the people of God all said,
Shalom. All right, that looks like it's gonna be it for us.
Just a last note on those other things. One foot before the other. With the pornography, you want to make sure that you get rid of any of those images or whatever on your laptop or anything that get rid of it. Downloaded, that you may have saved
today. Now,
Most High knows, today, now. Get rid of that stuff so that you have so that you can get your mind clear to be able to get the instructions the Most High wants to give you. For the drinking stuff, again, It may just take. I'm going cold turkey on that one, bruh. It may just take. You already know that you can't do it in moderation. So I mean, it's time to just go ahead and kick that can down the road.
Turkey.
Just go cold turkey with that.
And we're praying for you. And you've already seen, we pray for you, and we pray for Israel. Not just you, but for those
others
who are going through the same sins that you're going through, that we went through back in the day.
Exactly, back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
but as a man of the Most High, as men of the Most High, we call upon the Most High to send His angels to help you overcome those sins. Yeah. That's our purpose.
Yeah.
For Israel, that's why we're here. Like we tell all the time, it's not entertainment. No. We're here to actually help Israel come back to the Most High for you, spirit and truth.
For you and for anybody else who may be watching who has those similar demonic demons that they're struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
When two or more are gathered in His name, He
surely
is in the midst, and that's what that was.
Now again, we're hoping that we're going to be doing this podcast once a day for a little while, Lisa. Y'all willing?
We'll
around the same time, 8 o'clock California time
tomorrow.
And you can use the same link to come in tomorrow.
Hopefully, we're gonna keep checking to make sure that's the case.
Yeah, you can use the same link generally.
We'll keep checking.
Yeah, we'll keep checking. Again at 8 o'clock, we're gonna end up this live podcast. Yeah. We thank all the ones who participated.
Thank you guys for
in the live podcast. We will try to get to more questions the next time. This is your host, Priest of the Most High, Sakuma Zengami Lambu.
And I'm your host, Priest Most High, Lucifer D. Lambu.
And you've been watching A Sit-In with the Lampshade.
All right.
Thank you.
And shalom.
And shalom.